Welcome back to yet another edition of Pale Blue Thoughts. We have been talking about Vastu Shastra in our previous video. This video is a continuation of the same. Now, since we have got a basic understanding of its history, now let us study how does this appear to work or function. As part of evolutionary traits, humans have developed over the course of evolution basic emotions or instincts acquired in the process. Things such as fear, greed, selfishness, sex, etc. These traits are so important that without these, humans would not have survived till now. But at the same time, these emotions are also the reason behind all the blind beliefs like Vastu Shastra, astrology, etc. The human emotion of greed or desire is a very important aspect of human survival. Desire made early humans to look for more and better food, better sexual partners, etc. And due to this, humans managed to survive successfully. The evolutionary trait of the brains is passed on from generation to generation, and today we still have this emotion very strong, and we will also pass this to our next generation, thereby helping them also to be blind believers and superstitious.
Second important emotion is fear. This is the human instinct which is the primary reason behind survival of Homo sapiens right from when they were cavemen till today. Fear made humans run when they heard any sound in the bushes. Fear made them make tools to defend themselves from the wild. Fear made them to gather food and store for the cold winters. Without this emotion, humans would not have survived. This evolutionary trait is also passed as it is from generations to generations, and hence became another reason for our superstitions. There is no defense against these two important human instincts, greed and fear. The rational thinking part of our brain, the frontal cortex, stops working when these two emotions are on the high. We can regulate this to an extent, but that's it, and ultimately became the primary two reasons for almost all our superstitions and blind beliefs.
Architectural wonders like the Sun Temple of Konark, Meenakshi temples in India, the Hanging Gardens of Babylonia, the Egyptian pyramid, etc. are few examples of some amazing works done in the early human history. We are in awe and we respect and admire the talent those people had in building these with the technology that was available in those days. These amazing architectural monuments are a huge achievement of our forefathers and are certainly part of our history. We are not claiming that these are bad, as you will further see. Our problem does not lie here, and not certainly with the Vastu Vidya. The concern is the effects and ill effects assigned to these architectural methods. Just like astrology, where effects and ill effects are assigned to the movement or placement of planets.
The beautiful 16th century Veerabhadra temple, also known as the Lepakshi temple, is located in the small historical village of Lepakshi in the Anandpur district of Andhra Pradesh, India, about 15 km east of Hindupur. Veerabhadra temple is famed for yet another engineering wonder. Among the 70 stone pillars, there is one that hangs from the ceiling. The base of the pillar barely touches the ground, and is possible to pass objects such as thin sheet of paper or a piece of cloth from one side to the other. So the tradition now is to pass a piece of cloth or a dupatta underneath it like this, and the belief goes that you will get a lot of prosperity. Also, people are in awe of the Vastu architect who built 69 pillars correct and one without touching the ground. As we already have mentioned, the architects who have built this temple have actually done an amazing job like many other awesome monuments we have. But this one pillar hanging would not be done on purpose, and since the 69 other pillars are strong and placed well, this one pillar not touching the ground will not make any difference. We can always turn around and ask what kind of architect he was if he cannot properly make a pillar. For as you know, a pillar is made to support the ceiling and it has a strong bond with the ground in order to do that. But we won't ask that question in order not to belittle the architect of the temple. Also, this pillar may also have been correctly placed earlier, and in the course of time, probably due to any seismic activity, excessive rain or wind, etc., could have caused soil erosion and the soil beneath the pillar could have eroded. However, people with blind faith foolishly attribute a miracle claim to a mistake and support a superstition. This has got nothing to do with Vastu Shastra. The issue here is that Vastu Vidya and Vastu Shastra is mixed and made into a khichdi such that a believer falls headlong into this superstition because he or she is unable to grasp the difference.
There are many reasons why this appears to work. Let's take an example to understand it. We know that there are 4 cardinal directions: east, west, south, and north. There are also intercardinal directions like northeast, southwest, northwest, and southeast. Hence, there are a total of 8 directions. Among this, as per Vastu, if you make a toilet in the southwest direction, the owner of the house who made this will suffer from severe chronic diseases. These diseases till about 1950s were like liver or heart diseases, but now they are saying the owner will get cancer. Different Vastu texts give different effects. Also, apart from cancer, like the unmarried girl living in such houses may go astray and remain unmarried, untimely deaths, etc. Also, all Vastu practitioners don't claim this. For example, a famous South Indian Vastu expert named Kanipayur Krishnan Nambudripad in one of his book states that you can build a toilet in southwest side as well. How he justifies is that in olden times this side of the house was used by women to deliver kids after pregnancy. So if this is allowed, any other normal human activities can also be done. At the same time, he also says about the direction you should face while you are sitting in the toilet. That is, you either should face south or east while sitting in a toilet. Now in olden times, usually people used to sit in open areas for defecation. So during mornings or evenings, if you sit facing the south or east, the sun's rays would fall on your right side of your face. Hence, one should sit in the toilet facing these sides only. What is the benefit of sun's rays falling on right side is not clearly defined, although we assume it may be for the rays not to fall directly onto your eyes or your back. But this will be applicable only at those times when we need to defecate in the open. We now live in flats and closed houses. So how can this be relevant now? And how is this applicable if we feel like going to the toilet at night?
So the fear instinct gets triggered here, and even if you believe or don't believe in Vastu, you will still avoid making septic tanks or toilet this side. Generally, a non-believer would say, I don't believe in such things, but why take a chance? The problem, however, is that these fake practitioners would make money using your gullibility. If they would say, if you're okay with it, please go ahead. As we had mentioned earlier in the history, Vastu says that the 4 intercardinal directions are owned by 4 lords. Except for southwest, all other 3 intercardinal directions owners are gods or devas, and southwest is owned by a demon called Niriti. This demon is short-tempered, has angry red eyes and eats raw flesh, and that's why this side is not good at all. And that you should not build a toilet on this side. And how does this appear to work?
Let us do a simple thought experiment to prove this pseudoscience wrong. Let us assume we are doing a survey in any of the cancer hospitals in India. Let's take the Regional Cancer Center Trivandrum as an example. Whenever a cancer patient comes, you have to give an application form asking two questions. Did you get cancer after moving into a new house? If you have a toilet or a septic tank in your house, which side or direction is it built? Now give 8 directions as options and ask the person to select one of them. Let's take a data of 1 lakh people. Let's assume approximately 24,000 people answered yes to the first question, that they indeed got cancer after they moved into a new house. Now, if this survey was done in Ukraine, for example, where there is no Vastu, you may get an average of around 3,000 people selecting one direction among the 8 directions given as options in the second question, making a total of 24,000. That is how common average distribution takes place and happens in most of the surveys. But since Vastu prevails in India and in Kerala, and people know about issues in making toilet in the southwest direction, among the 24,000 people who moved into a new house, very few people will have their toilets in the southwest direction, as majority of the people avoided this due to a fear of getting cancer. Now, if you take law of averages, you will again get an even distribution to the 7 sides with around 3,000 cases per direction. However, when you look at the southwest direction, you will be in for a surprise. You will find that very few people who have built their toilets in the southwest direction referred to as Kannimula. Why? Because they have chosen not to, as they believe in Vastu. Now here comes the interesting part. Please listen to this carefully. Now, as a common layman, when he checks this survey, imagine what will he find? His conclusion will be that among the 1 lakh new cancer patients admitted in this cancer center, very less people who have built their toilets in southwest directions have got cancer. So as per statistics, you should build your toilet there to avoid cancer. However, Vastu tells otherwise.
But the believers would point out only these few people and make the prediction true. When asked about other majority of the people who have not built their toilets here but still have got cancer, they would justify it by saying that it can be due to different reasons like genetic issues, smoking, etc. These few people would share this story to another 100, those 100 to thousands, and so on, and thus Vastu gains popularity. On the other hand, the fact that majority of the people who had not built their toilets in southwest also acquired cancer doesn't get spread. We pause again for time and let things assimilate inside you for a bit. We will be back with the concluding part of this series in our next video. Until then, it's bye-bye from Pale Blue Thoughts.